What's up, dudes? I just woke up from a super long nap. I feel so good right now. I was watching this footage about the California wildfires, and they were talking about like, where did all the money go? Why was there no water? Like, what happened? And so then I heard bureaucracy. It's hard for me to say it. And so Spirit said, I have this deck here. I'm just going to shuffle this deck and show you what Spirit's going to show while we talk about what bureaucracy is. And so a good way to explain it is people creating jobs that are unnecessary to fleece the system for a job. That's what bureaucracy is. A lot of unnecessary paper pushing, regulations, a lot of, no, it has to go through us first, and then we might pass it on to this group of people, and then we all decide. So a good example how bureaucracy is not great is my art school that I went to. I'm just going to show you these. So I went to a very well-known art school here in the Twin Cities. In the Twin Cities, at the time, there was two major art schools. One was called College of Visual Arts. It was an exclusive art school that took place in an old mansion on some historic Summit Avenue. And then they had another building. And then if you didn't get into College of Visual Arts, I think they only accepted like 250 kids at the time, or I can't remember how much it was. If you didn't get into College of Visual Arts, you could always apply at MCAD, Minneapolis College of Art and Design. And that's like the big art school. And so I got lucky when I applied for art school. I got into College of Visual Arts, the smaller art school. I did not graduate from art school. I attended it, but I did not graduate. I ended up quitting art school and starting the College of Life. But my art school had been around for almost 100 years. And the unfortunate thing that happened was it took a handful of wrong people being in charge of that art school to completely drive it into the ground and put it out of business. All right. I hear Terry Redlin. So if you've ever heard of Terry Redlin, he's a wildlife artist. He graduated from College of Visual Arts. So what happened was a group of people, a board of directors type of thing, decided we're going to be in charge of College of Visual Arts. We are the board of directors, or whatever they called themselves. And all of a sudden they said, we've decided we're all going to give ourselves a 6-figure salary. And we got significant raises. Significant. Then all of a sudden, all the money from the tuition wasn't going towards the upkeep of the old mansion. No, the board decided to give themselves another raise. But the building wasn't getting maintained. Then nobody bothered to have anyone show up and be a representative for College of Visual Arts at any of the college fairs or anything like that, because it was a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing in charge, or they knew exactly what they were doing. They were getting a huge salary. So they did no recruitment for the college, and boom, just like that, no more new students. Poof, school went out of business. Shut down, boom, just like that. But before that, I believe that those board members were making six-figure salaries. So it's more advantageous to these kind of people to not fix the problems. So in the grand scheme of things, when you think of bureaucracy, they will say, okay, there is this problem. It will first have to go and be consulted through this committee. And will take forever to think about this problem. We'll push some papers around. But we're getting paid all the time for it. Yep. And then when we decide on how we're going to move forward on whatever the problem is, we're going to first send the problem to this next group of people who are going to review what we decided. And then they're going to convene and talk a bunch. They're going to do a bunch of unnecessary back and forth memos, papers, all sorts of things. Meanwhile, the problem is still, there's a great big problem. But all the bureaucracy, which means unnecessary jobs, is saying, well, hold up. It's more advantageous for us to not solve the problem right away, because a whole bunch of people got to get paid. So, for example, okay, this just landed on here. Be honest. Heart-to-heart conversations are necessary. It is safe for you to talk about your feelings. So, for example, is it Kensington? I believe it's called Kensington in Pennsylvania. Peter Santinello might mean something. He's got a channel here on YouTube. And he showed the largest open-air drug market. And where is it? It's right here in the United States. People straight up doing drugs right on the sidewalk. You go to the train station, you look down on the tracks, hundreds if not thousands of needles just thrown down there. The community saying WTF. All of a sudden all these I hear non-profit and for-profit companies come about. We're using government funds to help these drug addicts. We're providing them with an apartment. We're providing them with food. And we don't have any checks and balances on them because we want them to feel like they are citizens that are being treated respectfully, and we don't drug test them. We're just going on their honor that they're not doing drugs to receive this help. So a citizen like Peter Santinello goes up to one of these places and he says, I want to look inside here. No, you can't. Where do you get your funding from? We're not going to tell you. What is all the money that my taxes are paying for doing here? No comment. That's another example of bureaucracy. Some people will even say, for example, some drug treatment places. There are good ones and there are terrible ones. Halfway houses, there's good ones and there are bad ones. These sort of businesses, the bad ones, do better when the drug addicts are still in full addiction. So I think Spirit wants us all to learn about. I'm going to find that video about, I believe it's called Kensington, Pennsylvania. And we're all going to be really aware of how far being politically correct has gotten our country. California pays some of the highest taxes, and there's no water. But there's a whole lot of bureaucracy sucking up the funds. So for example, like what in that video that we're going to learn, this is Soul School, Free Soul School. The video will be down in the comment section here of this video I'm doing right now. And this video originated on YouTube, so you'll find it in the YouTube comment section. Now, if you don't feel comfortable clicking the links, I get it. I will also put the title of that video, and you can copy the whole video and paste it into the search. And Spirit wants us to fully understand. Now, if you say, I'm not down with bureaucracy, that doesn't mean you're saying, I'm not down with helping drug addicts. Or I'm not down with, I'm not getting all butthurt and like that kind of stuff. It just means, as citizens, we have a right to know where our money goes. And is the money working for the community? Or is it only working for a certain group of people who are siphoning the money until they run it into the ground? And so it looks like in California, that's an example of what happened. Everybody said, no, we're here to prepare, but nobody prepared. They just paid themselves. Much like my old art school. They weren't really in it for the school. No, they were in it to get as much salary as they could. And then kept giving themselves raises. All right, final message. So that kind of explains what bureaucracy is. Final message? What's the final message? And finally, I heard people are going to be held accountable. All right, there's the Soul School lesson. Now, I'm going to find that video. It's very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening. And me, I am historically, I don't like to get too political. I am historically a Democrat. I was born and raised in the Twin Cities. We are a blue state that's surrounded by a bunch of red states. The left got so far left that it hurt the Democrats. Things got so politically correct that we have a horrendous epidemic of drug users that are not having any consequences whatsoever. And so Spirit wants us all to watch the actual truth. Personally, me, I'm right down the middle, left of center when it comes to politics. All right. There's the message. Peace out. Love you.